Sons and daughters of Georgia, we unite to demand safe, transparent elections and hand-marked, hand-counted papered ballots. Charge! For freedom!
Give a little round of applause for that new open there. Braveheart theme removed from the National Treasure and Indiana Jones theme over to Braveheart. For whatever reason, we like using movie themes for our open, right, dude?
Well, it's fun.
Yeah, so welcome to this episode of Peaches and Bananas. Things are often bananas in the peach state. We want to see less bananas and more peaches. Right, dude?
Oh, big time, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking over here at the X channel and saying we're live on our icon. Do I see it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying. And
anywho, poke around on there and look around a little bit on that, and I'll take it from here. So thank you for joining us. If you're watching, we got 3 people watching. Yeah, all right. You're part of the uniting of the banners of the election integrity banners. Secure the paper ballots. And we appreciate you joining us, y'all. And please participate by commenting on, somewhere, wherever you're watching. I think we've got it to where all the comments are being piped and routed into our little live stream studio here on StreamYard. So give it a try, give it a whirl. Just say, hey, how's it going? Help us out. So let's see if it's working. Throw us a comment in the chat, in the live chat. That would be really cool. So yeah, the theme of tonight is Unite the Peaches or Get Bananas, because it's election season, and we're approaching the primary election, and that is more or less the general election in Georgia, because when we get the primary candidates selected, and we headed into the general, it's like that's where it feels like we're getting juked. Is in the primary. So we need as much participation and all eyes on the election in Georgia coming up for the primaries. We need turnout. We need people jazzed about it. We need people voting the right way. We need people doing their part. What do you say, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Peaches and Bananas, and the reason why we call it Peaches and Bananas, if you don't know by now, we're in the peach state. We're in Georgia. And, there's that saying, boy, you're a real Georgia peach. You're a peach, hon. It's a term of endearment to call someone a peach. So we award peaches to the people who are the election integrity stalwarts and heroes in this state. And those who want to dance around and try to keep our elections in a riggish mode, as it still is. Those people who fight against free, fair, honest, transparent election processes and methods. Well, we label them the bananas because they're keeping us in a banana republic and they're causing things to be bananas in our state. So that is the reason why we have named the show Peaches and Bananas, right, dude? And we like to compare ourselves to this video. We are that little ibex. Is that an ibex? I think that's an ibex, or is it a deer?
It's a little Asian deer.
It's an Asian deer. It's a little Asian deer.
Yeah, and it's going after the big, fat, swampy rhino. And that is not a comment on anybody's weight. It's really just that they're stubborn and don't want to move. And, yeah.
Yeah, look at that little guy.
No weight shaming.
Yeah, that's our meme. That's our go-to meme to kick off the show right there. That's what we're doing. And so yeah, if you're watching the show, you're watching us on one of the MAGA Struck channels, either on X or Rumble or YouTube or Facebook. You're watching MAGA Struck, but you're watching our show Peaches and Bananas. Peaches and Bananas also has an X account, so we would love it if you would go out and find it is at Peaches 2 Bananas, because there's no ampersand or anything, and Peaches and Bananas I think was taken, so it's Peaches 2 Bananas. Follow, like, share on all those accounts, at Magastruck and at Peaches 2 Bananas on X only. And we would be forever grateful. So we are going to dive into our first segment, dude. Take it from here while I set it up.
Okay, so the first segment is that we give you a taste of the Voter GA highlights from the Saturday Zoom calls. And do I share it for you, Viking Dude, to have the graphic on?
I'm getting ready to share, in a different manner, different method here. And you're going to see I got to look at the format here. You're going to set up Jason, right? Is that right?
Okay, I thought that we were going. Okay, yeah. So we're giving you a taste of what happened on the Saturday morning Zoom call, and there we go.
Yeah, I'm playing that back from StreamYard, so you can go ahead and add Jason whenever you get him ready to go. Just hit the little add the stage button.
Okay, so and Viking Dude, while I do that, go on X and share our live stream onto the Magastruck, because it's not working from my phone. And so Jason is one of our Peaches, and he's been doing a lot of work in investigating the voter registrations in Fulton. And one of his projects is this video that he's doing, that he's visiting these locations where there's people registered, and in ways that he's investigating voter registrations that don't make sense. And this is one of the locations that he visited, and I'll let you watch the story.
Are currently registered to vote from here?
There were 20 people whenever I first stumbled upon it, but now, Fulton County's done a great job. They're down to 19, so maybe a few more years we can get down to 18.
Exactly.
This by far is my personal favorite, because there actually is a house for once. But the house is, well, I don't know if you would call that a house. Let's just put it that way.
Got some good airflow.
Yes.
And as we could tell, they've definitely recently moved out. And if it was hard to tell anybody that this is a place where people are registered to vote from, you can definitely see that there's a mailbox so people can actually leave the ballot in case 19 people request a ballot from here. I think that in all seriousness, this is absurd, because, okay, you don't have to go to all these places that we went to. You can just pick one address, a very famous address, it seems like, that you can find on the internet, come here and say, why are people on the voter rolls?
Someone needs to do something about the voter rolls here.
Not going to respond to conspiracy theories.
This doesn't make any logical sense to anybody.
And Fulton County has known about this for years. I mean, I tweeted about it a couple of years ago after I got tired of doing these challenges, that Fulton County really wouldn't do anything about them anyway. So I figured, you know what, let's just show the world. And that's what we're doing today.
I mean, it's so easy for us to come out here that it begs the question of, is there something more than just mismanagement happening here?
Yeah, I strongly believe it's more than that. I mean, I just got some data from the EAC showing that Fulton County, who used to be at a 113% registration rate, has now gone up to 115%. And what that means is that is the number of people registered to vote versus voting age population. So for every 100 legal residents, warm bodies that can register to vote, there are 115 of those in Fulton County today.
Wow.
This is why.
Bullpucky.
Yeah, and he was at the state election board this last week that they had a meeting, and he was defending a complaint that he submitted about two voters that each of them have two voter registrations. So they're credited for voting 4 times altogether. And when he looked into it, the voter history file said that that they didn't vote. There, to one of those 4 registrations, there was an absentee ballot issued, but it wasn't returned. But somehow they're credited for voting, and it's just something really messy in the data. And Jan Johnston summed it up for us.
Yeah, well, Jason spoke before Jan's summary we're about to play here, but rather than play Jason's presentation at the state election board, because it got a little bit into the technical, a little bit over my head anyway. I mean, not for the election integrity forensic guys, but she summed it up rather nicely what Jason presented. So to lead into Dr. Jan's summary at the state election board, Dr. J, I should have had that graphic ready to go. She's my new Dr. J. It used to be Julius Erving for the Philadelphia 76ers. In the 2020s, it's Dr. Jan. She's my new Dr. J because she can dunk. She can dunk in elections, right? But Jason, he's a peach, and so is Dr. Jan. They're both peaches. So we're getting ready to hear Dr. Jan now. So let me cue that up. And here's Dr. Jan at the state election board. Go to the screen here. There we go.
Well, my concern is a review of this case suggests that voter credit is really maybe not even correlated to a real vote. And and that questions vote totals. If you're unclear whether vote credit really counts for a vote, how can you declare that there are certain vote totals in the system? And the related election documents, such as numbered list of voters, are not available. I mean, how can you conduct or review or audit an election without a numbered list of voters? Those are the people who came in to vote. And there's nothing secret about who comes in to vote. The only thing that should be secret is how you vote. And to have this either not kept or not provided to correlate with vote totals it's just, I don't understand how anyone could look at an election and say it's accurate in any way. And in review of this data, it shows that there's duplicate registrations, voters that cannot be contacted, vote credit that cannot be substantiated by election documents, absentee ballots sent out to duplicate registrations and not returned, voter registrations by the same person just 18 days apart, vote history that's unreliable, related election documents such as vote affidavits or absentee ballot applications or oaths on the envelopes. Who's seen an oath envelope in years and years? I haven't. A numbered voter list are not available. So my conclusion generally is voter credit is junk data. And, Mr. Frazier, I don't even know why you even look at it, just
all they give
shows
us.
relation. But it all has to do with the voter rolls too, and the accuracy and the currency of voter rolls. That's what's so important. Otherwise, these double registrations just become possible placeholders for somebody to insert a false vote and to digitally or electronically, because we're using all electronic equipment these days to create erroneous vote totals. So, it just kind of it kind of affects one's confidence and trust in the whole reporting system.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely chaotic what she's saying.
I think by now
That's
everyone is aware.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go into that one. I got too many things going on here. So let me let me back it up. So yeah, Dr. J, my new Dr. J, she summed it up for us there. It's bananas, right, dude? She's basically all she had to say is it's bananas. Right?
Yeah, because like all these records at the end of each election are supposed to match. That's how you know that an election went right, that the number of people credited for voting match the number of people that received ballots. And Fulton County records is just showing that that's not the case. And good on Jason for catching it and hopefully getting it fixed someday. by bringing all this attention to it.
Are we ready for the next clip, dude? So
Sure, dude.
let's preface by, we forgot to preface by saying that these are clips that were shown in the voter Saturday in the, I don't know, usually 2.5, 3 hour voter GA Zoom call that we participate in religiously and have done for 5 years. And I don't want to say, Garland's watching, and I say, we do 3 hours on Saturday morning, so you don't have to. Garland probably hates that. I mean it in jest. We'll give a little we'll give a little.
Yeah, these
laugh,
are the
laugh.
clips that Garland asked me to clip for the call. So these were the things that he wanted to highlight.
Yes, and let's see. So let's go back here to this, and the next clip is, let's see. I got to remind myself here what we're doing next. It's Janelle King. Do you want to play Janelle's comments?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. This is pretty powerful. We like hearing this.
Yeah.
I think by now everyone is aware of the FBI search and seizure that took place a few weeks ago. From day one, before anyone knew what was in the warrant, the narratives began to swarm, which we all began to hear. While it is public knowledge that I was contacted by the Bureau, I had no idea the seizure was going to happen or when it was going to happen. But I hoped for it because, as you know, we also subpoenaed for those same documents. I knew that there were opposing perspectives and a deep-seated mistrust in our system. But what I did not expect was the number of people who would insist that the election was perfect and one of the best in the country, yet cannot explain how the process actually works once the ballot leaves the voter's hand. Who you vote for is the only secret part of the election. Every other step must be transparent and it must be easy to understand. So you can't do your duty as a citizen if you don't have that understanding. So to be clear, we're not here because of conspiracy theories. We're not here because of sore loser activists. We're not here because a little bit of fraud that wasn't enough to change the outcome. And we're certainly not here because of some power trip to target Fulton County. We're here because our election has been in question for a long time, well before 2020. In 2018, Stacey Abrams distrusts the process, claiming of vote flipping, hacking vulnerabilities, and machine crashes. Many of the same people who were upset with us questioning the elections today supported her back then. Our job is to make sure your vote is not only cast without barriers, but that it counts. Your vote is disqualified if it isn't cast, but it's also disqualified when it's cast and isn't counted properly. It's disqualified when a coding error causes you to vote for the wrong candidate. It's disqualified when someone who isn't legal votes 23 times in our elections and votes on how your taxes are to be spent. It's disqualified when 300 people vote in your city race without you knowing, giving you a council member you did not elect. It's disqualified when a neighboring voter decides who your mayor will be, effectively canceling your voice. We are here because the public asked. Americans did their duty. They researched, they asked questions, they demanded answers. Because of that, we now know there were ballots that were double counted and tabulated. As we can all see, the recounts were off. Thanks to the efforts of many, we now see that our voter rolls are inflated statewide. And they were inflated when nearly 7 million ballot applications were sent to every registered voter, meaning a house where one person lives could have received multiple applications. This opens us up to ballot harvesting like never before. But this isn't a problem that is new. I've worked in Georgia politics for over a decade. I remember door knocking years ago and noticing that some addresses on my app had upwards to 13 names associated with them. And when I knocked on the door and spoke to the resident, I was told that only 2 people lived there and that the rest of the people on the list were previous tenants. That was over a decade ago. Yet there's still a consensus from some that we are not to question our elections or our elected officials, which could not be further from the truth. Protecting this republic isn't just the job of a politician. It requires personal responsibility from every one of us. There is a universal rule in politics that when the people drop the ball on our duty, the government will always be there to pick it up. And we're not going to like how the government carries it. Voting isn't just a choice, it's a duty. It is the price of admission for a free society. Our sovereignty is not up for negotiation, and our votes are not up for erasure. The only thing that separates us from a banana republic is our ability to choose our own leaders. And right now, the level of vulnerability in our system puts all of our votes at risk. This isn't because our election workers are bad people. It's because they have bad leadership. As a result, they are underfunded, overworked, and left to fend for themselves as if we're living in the wild, wild west. The days of defending those we elected to represent us are over. We are not here to trust the words of politicians who seek their next office the moment they win the first one. We are here to hold them accountable to the job that we hired them to do. We are not the bad guys. Those who break their oaths are. The moment we start listening to weak narratives and parroting misleading talking points is the day we hand over our power and lose this country. It's time to stop making excuses for a broken system and start verifying the one thing that keeps us all free, and that's the American vote. If we don't guard the gate, nobody will.
I like it.
All right, Janelle.
And I hope that's not all talk, because it's a little bit frustrating that, okay, go ahead, Viking Dude.
Well, I'd give her a little round of applause there.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's not on all talk, because something that's become really frustrating for me is that I'm the voter GA hotline. So for the elections, people see something wrong. I'm one of the numbers that people call to try to do something about it. And when it's something that goes to the election board, I help them file that complaint with the state election board. And it just got to my attention. There was one complaint by a citizen that it got a hearing. It got the state election board had it investigated, but then the investigators were jerks to the people that complained, and it didn't seem cool, right at all, and seemed like that was just a really nice statement by Janelle King with no action, because the state election board investigators were really rude to the citizen. And after that one initial really bad phone call, they did not answer phone calls. So the team of citizens with information to give the state election board were not heard. They were calling the investigators, trying to connect with them. And there were emails that just went into a void, I guess. And and then when the case was heard again, it was just dismissed by what the investigator said, and there was the citizen saying, "Hey, there are things that weren't even touched here," and sorry, but
what's the deal, yo?
Yeah,
What's the deal?
They just did that motion to dismiss, and out it went when it wasn't really investigated at all. So
yeah, and one thing that came out in the call that was highlighted in the voter GA call, that jury's a little bit out on in my opinion, but they were the state election board was given a round of applause for cleaning up their backlog of cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was featured, segment.
That was said, yeah.
It was said, and I guess at the meeting they were given huge rounds of applause for cleaning up the backlog of however many, was it 60 cases or something like that, or 40, I don't know, double digits.
The backlog of cases, it was triple digits. It was in the hundreds.
Oh, triple. So in order to clean them up that fast, they must have just went through and dismissed, and well, we know some of those people who filed some of those complaints, and
and I have other complaints that were not even. So I was surprised to hear that they're saying that they got through the backlog, because unless they mean not that they haven't gone to 2025, because there's 2025 cases that haven't been touched.
Yeah. And these people put their necks on the line. In this state, the
Yeah.
elections are, I mean, yeah, you're stepping out there. You're putting
Yeah.
you're doing like in that intro. You're mounting up on a horse and you're riding out there to the front of the battle lines. I mean, you're
Yeah.
out there exposed on the front line. I mean, if you do that, if you file a complaint and you see something, you know, it feels like the establishment, the swampy establishment, is so prevalent here that
Yeah,
when
well,
you go ahead.
not just feels like, there's more detail. I know that you get. I'm sorry. I know that you don't like me to interrupt you, but like specifically, like they get doxxed, they get written about in their county newspaper,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah,
it's
the persecution comes from a local level, and it's kind
yeah.
of coordinated, right?
Yeah, and that's why I'm really frustrated with the handling of that of cases, because you know the people expose themselves, they get written about in the paper, they get ridiculed in their communities, they get removed from positions that they hold, just because you know they're trying to do some good here and reporting a wrong that they see. And then the people that said that they're going to investigate let them down by, first of all, mistreating them, and then mishandling the case, not investigating, and then just dropping it altogether.
Yeah.
So
It would have been better
like,
if they never spoke up
yeah,
for them.
yeah,
Yeah, I get it. That's some serious frustration
yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so I'm sorry, Viking Dude, because I'm really trying not to step on your toes, but
no, that's okay.
like that's an important thing that, you know, I wish I had a bigger platform, because I would like somewhere
Yeah.
to hold it I can't hold even the state election board accountable for the handling of the cases.
Well, Janelle King is, you know, she's okay. Who appointed Janelle? It was the Republic. Oh, it was the
House leadership.
the leader of the House. So the House leader, John Burns, appointed Janelle. So there's some politics in these appointments. All 5 of those election board members are appointed by a different body. Yeah, one is appointed by the leader of the Georgia State House. One is appointed by the head of the Georgia Senate. Right, one is appointed by the governor. One is appointed by the Democrat Party, and the last is appointed by the Republican Party. Did I get that right?
Oh, I wasn't paying that much of attention, but it sounded
I
right.
was going to give myself a round of applause. I will anyway.
Then go ahead anyway. Yay.
All right. Oh, you weren't even paying attention. I don't even know if I'm right. I think I'm right about that. So those appointments are political to some degree, but they know it's going to be political, so they try to fan it out amongst the political bodies. So Janelle King, thank you for those words. They were inspiring. They were encouraging. We love it, but man, we want to see some action behind the rhetoric, right?
Yeah, we want to see that.
Is her husband still running for Secretary of State? Is he still one of the candidates? I don't. I guess I need to look at my ballot. We'll be talking about voting here later. I guess I need to look into that, right?
Yeah, because I think that he is. I know people that told me that they're wanting to help with this campaign, but I see that there's other candidates for the same position touring and you know, visiting different county GOPs and having all these events, and I haven't heard of him, so I don't know.
All right. Well, so that's that part. Again, we're airing clips that aired inside of the voter GA Zoom call. So let me back it up one frame here and go to.
Yeah, we took a little detour.
Yeah, I took a little detour there, little chance for a rant. But we're still giving you highlights from this past weekend's voter GA Zoom call. Next up is Garland and Tamara. They, the wonderful Garland and Tamara. They're a fantastic couple, but they had something to comment about. Maybe we set this up a little bit. This had to do with occasionally well, let me go back to our screens here. Occasionally there are people who, who are very, they're very zealous and very, heart is in the right place, but they don't know where to really direct their activism. And sometimes that ends up being done in the wrong venue and steered at the wrong people. And so Garland and Tamara, we've been a part of this in the past. I have a friend who actually was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor. I believe it was a misdemeanor. I think it ended up getting dropped. He confessed that he didn't know what he was doing and said if he had it to do over again, he wouldn't have done it. And, he was just trying to do the right thing. And he took a picture of his ballot, and you're not allowed to have your cameras out in the polling place. That's why later we're going to talk about the best way to vote. And we're going to show you why it's cool. We're going to show you why it's cool. But here's Garland and Tamara. They're kind of responding to a questioner that had a question, had their hand raised, but they're also kind of setting the tone, saying, "Look, this is the way activism should not go on in the polling place. The polling place is for voting." Is that fair to say, dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me.
Because we're all like, there's a lot of people that are upset that they're still voting on BMDs.
Yes, we all are.
The polling place is not the place to protest.
Voter GA cannot support citizens individually protesting in polling places because they're protesting in the wrong place. I've been a poll worker. If somebody walked in there and said to me, "I'm crossing through my QR code because it shouldn't be there," I would say, "I totally agree with you, but this is the system that we have to vote on." And you're not accomplishing anything until you get like thousands of people to do the same thing. It's no different than back when Judge Nally was telling people, take a picture of your ballot in the precinct before you put it in the scanner. And we were going right behind him and saying, do not do that, do not do that. And there was one person that got arrested. So I think we have to be very careful.
And blamed us, actually.
Do what?
And blamed us.
And blamed us because he heard it on our call from Judge Nally. So I think it's going to be a hard reach for the state election board to come out with a public statement saying basically they support citizens individually protesting in the precincts, which is what that is.
Well, let me just add a couple things to there. So we have been pressing the board to make a public statement for the counties to write a letter and say that they believe that this system is impracticable. Based on the statute 21-2-334, and that the counties have the authority to change it. And we have pressed for that for over a year. In fact, I publicly asked when I presented last year at the state election board for them to write that letter. And this is the other thing. I get frustrated with Marilyn Marks because she brings this case in, and she did this Thursday and said that you've got the ability to enforce the law in the counties. Well, surely she knows in her own mind that the state election board doesn't have that ability. So, but if she had asked for the letter to be written, I think that the board would have probably wrote the letter. I would have, supported on that, and we could have at least gotten a letter down to the county. So, in that, I think you're right about that. We should have gotten a letter down there, but not necessarily for that. It needs to be, the state election board needs to come on record to saying that this QR coded voting system is not practicable for voting. That's what we've been trying to do. So, but that raises the question, like Tamara's saying, we don't want anybody to get in trouble.
We don't want anybody to get in trouble.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we gotta work. Can't have our lives encumbered from earning a living, and
Yeah, it is a misdemeanor to take a picture of your ballot in the polling place. If you interrupt the voting process, if you interrupt a poll worker and prevent them from continuing their duties, that can be a misdemeanor or a felony. So we don't, like Voter J doesn't want that kind of advocacy where people get in trouble and remove themselves from the playing board, and then also, just invalidate their votes.
Yeah, if you're thinking about doing something wacky at the polling place, I got a message for you.
Yo, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Right, dude?
Right, dude.
So, better check yourself before you wreck yourself or get 1,000 other people to do it with you, like Garland was saying. It's just, life will go better. Unless you want to go to jail and, you're okay with that. I mean, that's what the left wing espouses. Get arrested, do the
Well,
time.
you get 3
Do
square
the time,
meals
right?
and medical treatment.
Do the time.
You get medical care. You get 3 square meals.
Yeah, a cot.
Yeah.
3 hots and a cot. So, yeah. So that's what they had to say about that. But we have even a better solution. Option. We think everyone should have a voting party. Now, let me tell you, last time I voted, not the last time, but 2 times ago, I was appalled. Here, let me go ahead and cue this up here. Let's go ahead and you can talk a little bit about this. Let me get this queued up here, and you can talk a little bit about this. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and read through this, and then I'll tell my story.
Yeah. So we know that the BMDs are vulnerable, and so if you want to vote on hand-marked ballots, you do have that option, and that is the mail-in ballot. We call it the mail-out ballot.
I call it the mail-out ballot.
Yeah.
Because I don't mail it in, right? I don't mail it in. I drive it in and I hand deliver it, and I don't drop it in a box. I don't put it in any boxes. I put it underneath the window, the glass window at the elections office, into the hand of an elections worker. So it's not a mail-in ballot. It's called the absentee ballot. It's called the mail-in ballot, and everybody's misnaming this ballot. Right, dude? It should be called Georgia's only paper option ballot is what it's called. If you're someone who's wearing a paper please now shirt or paper ballots please, paper this, paper that, then that's the only paper you're going to get. I hate to say it, right, dude? That's the only paper you got to get in Georgia, right, dude?
It's the only paper that you get to hand mark.
That you get to hand mark, right?
Yeah. And so there's there's a process to be able to vote that way, and it's coming right up. So
well, let's go through this flyer here a little bit. Right, these 4 points. Yeah. So Tania Dude and I designed this. Last election? When did we do this? And 2022?
2024.
Was it for 2024? I can't remember.
So.
Okay. Well, are you sure it was 2024? I thought it was the prior election, but anyway, it's we figured by now we'd be on hand-marked paper ballots at the precinct. We're not. So this graphic has got some shelf life in Georgia because we can't get any action. We can't get any legislative action on doing hand-marked paper ballots. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up here in a minute, but basically to safeguard your ballot, to make sure that your vote is the best way to make sure your vote is going to count is to apply for the absentee ballot. And I just did that this morning. I sent an email to my county elections office. You see there in the yellow right here, apply for absentee ballot. I sent an email to my county elections office yesterday, actually. They replied with an email this morning, the first thing, and said, yep, we're shoving it into the mail for you. Now, you don't have to do that if you have a printer. I do not have a printer that works.
Okay, hold on, Viking Dude.
Yeah.
Because we're saying right there that the app that you can apply for it starting on March 2nd. So what you did was that you requested the application so that you can apply for the absentee ballot.
Yes, and what I am saying is I don't have a printer that works, so I can't print you can print the application off and sign it and send it in. You can mail that application. You can actually sign it and then scan it. You're not allowed to do a digital signature, so you have to sign it, take a picture of it, and then you can email that to your elections office, which is what I'm going to do. When I get these in the mail, I'm going to sign it, take a picture of it, and I'm going to email it to my elections office. They can tell, I guess, somehow if it's a real signature signed and versus, the Adobe PDF signature. Anyway, I don't want to break the law. I'm going to go ahead and do it the way they want me to do it. I will email that application that I'm going to receive in the mail, and then they will receive that and they will mail out to me my absentee ballot, as it's called. It should be called the only paper option in Georgia ballot. Or hand-marked paper option in Georgia. And so, then you can vote intelligently from home. You can research candidates while you vote. I didn't know if Janelle King's husband's still in the race. I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to all the races, but, I guarantee you when I sit down to fill out the ovals, I'm going to be looking into all the candidates up and down the ticket.
Yeah, and you can look up if there's any qualified write-ins. And you can look up if there's any questions. You can do your research
right there on the spot.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. And then hand deliver all the ballots from your household to your county elections office on election day. Now, the reason why we do that is so that there is not any kind of explain why we do that. Why we try to push it up. I do it the evening before election day because I don't want to be in all the traffic, the people lining up and try to barge through there and stuff. I guess that's not going on at the elections office anyway, but it just seems like elections day is busy time around there. So I try to do it the evening before the election day eve is when I take my ballot in. So go ahead and explain why we wait so late.
You want to wait till election day because ballots get processed so your county can start processing the absentee ballots early. As of after the first week of early voting, they can start opening those up and putting them in the scanner. And if scanners are vulnerable to be hacked, then they can put in an algorithm and figure out how many ballots they need to cancel your vote.
That's why. Yeah. So that said, let me tell my story. So let me go back here. The last time I voted in a major election, I was appalled at the electioneering going on. There were actual mailers and flyers laying around right next to where I'm voting. They were laying right next to my ballot in my station. There were people wearing all kinds of garb. There was people drinking.
Okay, Viking Dude. None of that behavior is allowed in a precinct.
I mean, people had their phones out, their cameras out. I mean, there were people texting. There were slogans being shouted. I was appalled. It's appalled that there wasn't more of it, to be honest with you. And the reason why is because, and we're going to show you why. Because we had let me get back to this page here. Let's see, we go. Yes, we had looking at my ballot, a voting party at the selections for president, and I've got this wonderful piece of propaganda from Kamala Harris. The electioneering going on in Espanol, and I'm thinking, they at least went the effort to try to communicate with the Latin community. So you ready to vote for president?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm stuck.
I don't mind that I don't have privacy, except from you. Voting at home. When I want to really have a good time voting, I vote at home, and I have a shot of bourbon while I'm doing it. Okay, yeah, so voting at home. Always looking for a reason to break out some wardrobe props. So
Nice hat, Viking Dude.
yeah, so voting at home, it's the way to go. All you have to do is just do the extra step. Apply for the absentee ballot. They mail it to your house. You leave it sitting over there until you feel like it's time to vote, and call some friends up. Call some friends up. Say, hey, let's get together. All the things that are not allowed in the polling place are allowed in your home.
Yeah, and just remember that there's a window for that. So you want to request that ballot between March 2nd and the very last day that you can request it is May 8th. Just like remember that if you're getting into those really into May, and you're counting on the post office to be on time. So if you don't get your ballot after you request it, go vote anyway, because they can track that they mailed you a ballot, and they have a way to cancel it, so that if that ballot was ever returned to them, it's voted, they know that you already voted, and they'll cancel that one.
Yes. Do it now. Do it now. Start thinking about it anyway, right, dude? Let's everybody vote on hand-marked paper ballots. And here's the other thing. If you write in a creative candidate and you do an ORR, or you know somebody who's done an ORR for the ballots, you write in a creative candidate like, Mickey Mantle or somebody like that on a race that you don't care about, you don't know to care or whatever, or, or not, but I do that. I write in a candidate sometimes where I don't think that my vote's really going to matter, and it's a small little tiny race. I can find my ballot I know my handwriting. I can find my ballot in an ORR, and then I'll know if it's been counted. Is that right, dude?
You can do that, yes. Yeah, I mean, like, we had a sheriff that ran on a post, and, I know that my German Shepherd, well, he could make a better president than anybody, but, he can start local. And so I thought that, he could start at sheriff, and he was a great choice as sheriff.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, well, back to Voter GA Zoom highlights. We are in the next highlight we want to give you, where Garland talks about the Fulton County's talk about open records request. Garland is man, he's had a rough time trying to get Fulton County to live up to the law of open records requests, and he's got them pretty cornered. He's got them backed up against the ropes on this thing. And I asked the question, what is going to happen with this situation? And we'll hear Garland talk about it. You ready?
Right.
Okay, here we go.
On Monday, I filed a complaint against State Election Board because Fulton County lied, and this clip sums it up, and it's I think it's about a 2-minute clip, and this was the last speaker up, I think, on Thursday or next to it. In case I run out of time. Thank you. On Monday, I filed my first SEB complaint in 20 years. So it must be important. Unfortunately, the two people who needed to hear the complaint, Chairman Pitts and Chairman Allen, just walked out about 5 minutes ago. Fulton County repeatedly and illegally refused to provide an electronic copy of the 2020 general election ballots that the FBI now has. In my 2024 and 2025 open records request, Fulton Clerk and Elections Division officially replied 4 times that they had no such ballots. This is after we had an active order to preserve and unseal the ballots, and after the 2-year sealing requirement on the ballots had legally expired. On July 10th, 2024, the Elections Division, Mariska Bodison, replied, "There are no responsive documents to your request." On November 15th, 2024, the clerk replied, "No such documents exist in requested format, even though they're required to copy the documents under open records request law." After working 4 years to get the General Assembly to improve the transparency law because of Fulton County and this other stalling, I tried again. On January 15th, 2025, the clerk replied again, "There are no responsive documents and the new law does not apply to them." So on February 19th, 2025, I sent it to the elections divisions. They replied, there are no responsive documents to your request. That has to be 4 lies. This is a systemic problem because Fulton County was found by the court to have violated open records request law in my case all the way back on April 20th of 2021. Now, we all know why they've been hiding the ballots for 5 years, and it's because the ballots don't confirm the electronic results that they certified.
Your time is Mr. Garland.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Trevor.
Garland, I meant to give you a longer clap than that. There we go. Yeah, Garland, he's not going to let it die, right? That guy is a tenacious mofo, man. He is tenacious as they come.
Yeah, he is the definition of persistence. And we're going to hear a lot more about all the details on that on Wednesday because that's one of the things.
Yeah, so I've got that queued up. So we're going to hear more from Garland on Wednesday. You're going to get a chance to hear from Garland on Wednesday because there's a press conference he's got set up for Wednesday, this Wednesday, 2 days from today. And it will be live and it will be streamed on
X, Rumble, and Facebook.
Oh, here we go.
So what we're going to do, as Ricardo said, is discuss, we keep hearing that these claims were debunked and all these lies that are circulating. So we're going to walk through what all the evidence is. The affidavit had 5 major claims in it of potential probable cause for crimes. We're going to walk through what that evidence is. We're also going to explain that the complainants, Fulton County, have no standing to oppose the search warrant. So I think you'll find that really interesting. And then I'm also going to announce and talk about the new state election board complaint I filed against Fulton County, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this call, that for refusing to produce the ballots, 4 separate open records requests I made in 2024 and 2025 said that they had no such responsive records. They had no ballots, which was the same ballots that they gave to the FBI, apparently, on the 28th of January. So I think you'll find all this really, really interesting. It'll be 2 o'clock Wednesday at our normal location. Come on out if you can. It's always kind of fun to be there live for a press conference. And if not, it'll be live streamed on the event tab, as well as the Rumble channel. And I think X as well.
All right.
Yep. So
Indeed.
We are going to be working because Viking Dude and I are the team. Well, Viking Dude's doing most of the work.
And that wraps it up for the voter GA Zoom highlights, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch back. I got to switch back to the other way of sharing my screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just saying that we'll be live streaming that you're behind the camera when Garland does his press conferences, and he's the reason why the press conferences look so good, because that room where they're held is a really boring room, and Viking Dude, he colors them up with light and just make sure that it all looks great. And
well, so we're getting a little bit long into the show here. That took longer than I thought. It's always that way, but I guess I got to unshare that, share that. This is the segment of the show. We do a little bit of our own self-promotion here. Bear with us here for a second. We do have a Give, Send, Go. It is givesendgo.com/Tanya needs our help. And if you find it within your heart to go and throw something Tanya's way, a hat, tip, or she does a lot. She does a lot for Voter GA. She does a lot on behalf of all of us who are fighting for free and fair elections, and she does this amazingly with the challenges of a disability that it's rough on her. So just wanted to show Tania in action here. There she is at a Voter GA press conference. She's working the live stream. She's technically coordinating the streams to the sites. She's handling that. She even does that remotely when she's in Puerto Rico. In this particular case, she's up here, wherever that press conference was that day. And in addition to that, she does downstream graphics. So there are a lot of the graphics that are inserted into the press conference that Tania handles, and takes that responsibility, that load off of me, who's doing a 4-camera shoot, handled lighting this, dressing and lighting the set. I mean, I basically walk into an empty conference room with no lights or anything, just some chairs on the floor, and I got to pull and position the monitor and set the podium and get the lighting going, get 4 cameras set up a streaming workstation like I've got going now with just as many gadgets and gizmos and wires and cables, and I got to set up for visiting media, for media who local news media who want to come and cover it. With their own camera guy, I provide a audio breakout for those guys so they get good audio from what I'm also doing, which is the audio for the room and for the stream. It's really like a 3-person job I'm doing there. So everything Tania is able to do downstream, it takes so much off of my shoulders. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate her contributions there. Tania gets out there and she advocates for election integrity. She advocates for hand-marked paper ballots. Here she is on a program with Brian Pritchard and Bill Quinn of CD Media, where she's, they asked her to come on. I mean, you're the expert on election, how to vote and safeguard your ballot. So she's there doing a live with those guys on this day, and here she is advocating for Tina Peters' release. We did a show. We've done many shows and songs and all kinds of things about Tina Peters. We, let me throw this up real quick. We are advocates for her. We feel like that she has been shafted and she needs to be released. She should have been released. She should have never been put in jail to begin with. She's 70 years old, and she opened up the black box and revealed the mystery. That's what she did. Because of Tina, we know a lot about the election rigging through the machines. That's right. When you say she's kind of a keystone to that discovery.
Yeah. There's 3 copies of the Dominion voting system that has been investigated. She provided one of them. The other one is Coffee County, and the other one is Antrim in Michigan. And being able to compare and check out all of those systems, all the innards, have helped have all helped us learn how vulnerable they are.
Yeah. And here's a shot of me outside the room in the lobby, where I was told cameras were allowed outside, but not inside the room. So I'm outside, just to be sure, so that no one comes knocking on my door here. But and to reveal, Tania is the only poll watcher at this audit of the 2024 election in Cherokee County. So she's the only one there, and she's observing. She's the only one. So Tania's all about elections, y'all. So,
you were there too.
Yeah, I was there, but I was, busy, screwing off with my camera. So anyway, that's, again, if you find it in your heart to go help out Tania, that would be great. What I do for a living is media and professional video and professional media, professional, broadcast is all I've ever known, all I've ever done my whole life. So, if you want to give us a call and book me to come out, and it's a serious event. I mean, I'm not super expensive, but I'm not like, Mr. Cheapo guy either. I've got, it's a lot of investment in gear and equipment. But we do you right. We do a good show for you. And here's my pitch. In this world where attention is hard won, Storytel.media turns your vision into visuals and sounds that grab hold of people. I'm Ty Towers, and I'm a hands-on AV nerd with 35 years in broadcast production. I personally run camera, sound, lighting, edit content, design graphics, and arrange music. My knack for rhythm fueling razor-sharp edits. Leading a tight-knit team, we deliver stunning visuals and powerful messaging. While I've been honored with Emmy, Telly, and Promax awards, I really focus on your trust first and foremost. For leading companies, including industrial manufacturing clients, we bring trust and discretion and relaxed environments where your executives will shine naturally. We execute your vision with precision, making your story unforgettable. Discover our story at storytell.media and let's make your story shine.
Yay!
Thank you. There's drone shots in there. A lot, I'd love to fly the drone and take. That's part of the package when you hire me to come out for your company. There's that second wave. It gets louder on that applause track. When you hire me to come out, I usually have one crew guy with me or more if the job calls for it. But we're armed with every kind of camera there is. I mean, we send cameras into manufacturing machines and hope that the machine doesn't stamp down on them. To get inside, we throw lights inside of equipment and we show the process. I mean, I've lost cameras filming plasma cutters and having the camera mounted right next to the plasma cutting, knowing that we're going to lose the camera. It was worth the $300 to get the shot. That's the level we're at, where we really want to sell your service, and we want every one of your shots to just look like it's $1 million. So consider giving Storytell.media a call next time you need to tell a story and make your story shine. All right, so into our next segment, dude. What happened to the animation here? Here we go.
There it
I
is.
had that on loop. All right, so the winding road to secure elections in Georgia. That's going to be done through hand-marked paper ballots, hand counting, and clean voter rolls. Is basically what it boils down to, right, dude?
Right, dude. Maybe. Yeah. So I'm used to every year since I started working for Garland I'm used to doing the legislative update, and I've been really quiet this time around because I sadly haven't had very much to report. But at least I have one update for tomorrow, that House Bill 12.
Well, okay, so I had
27?
I had the petition queued up first.
You had the petition first? Okay.
Yeah. So there is a petition that Voter GA talked about in the call but we wanted to separate it out and put it in this segment. So it's this right here, right?
Okay. Yeah. So
is this in the wrong place?
No. I would.
Oh, it is. It is. I put it in the wrong spot. Well, you want to do this now, or do you want me to come back?
No, you have it up.
Okay.
So the study committee of elections that I've talked on the show before came out with some recommendations that it's using the BMD ballots for early voting, and at the end of elections, they're suggesting those to get counted by hand count, and then on Election Day, they want the precincts to have hand-marked ballots, and those to be counted by the scanners. And Garland has this, and so that bill was promised. There was a draft of it that came out a couple weeks ago, and it hasn't been made official. It hasn't been officially introduced. We're getting really close to crossover day. And so Garland has this petition to urge them to have hand-marked, hand-counted ballots in agreement with that, with those recommendations.
So this is the petition.
Yeah.
You can find this on the voterga.org something tab.
Well, actually, I
Or no, it's
had
Constitution Party. What?
no. Let me give you the link.
Well, it was Bitly. Hold on, let me go back to
Yeah,
this. bit.ly/handcountga 2026.
yeah,
So everybody, we're not getting any. Seems like any momentum or any progress down at the state capitol while they're in session, and we're getting close to crossover day, and it's kicking the can down the road. It's more slow walking, slow crawling, just slow rolling down there. We can't get our legislators to do anything, and so the only thing that works, right, dude, is just turning up the pressure, and so that's what this is. There's the website there. So bit.ly/handcountga 2026.
yeah. And if you're not sure what the ask is, don't worry. That petition that you get to when you go to that link has a suggested email written for you. You can tweak it if you want to. It does ask for your name, email address, phone, and address, because when it emails the legislators for you, it will tell them that you're a constituent. So that's why they like seeing that it's people that live in the state, that it's one way that they can get a sense that they're getting real voters making this request, because voters are the ones that get impacted. And so yeah, that's why that information is requested. And you have a chance to also call and send the video. And after you enter all that and send that email, it will give you that opportunity to do that. And there's a script that's suggested for you too, but you can also ignore it. And
I am writing to urge you to take immediate and decisive action to secure Georgia's elections. SB 189 passed in 2024 bans QR-coded ballots beginning in July 2026. Our Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, has done nothing to make that happen. So this is a pretty good script already.
Yeah, right, that's the email. Yeah.
That's the email. Okay, so that's the email. When you click through the email, you get the option to leave a phone message. You see the three things up here that I guess I thought you clicked on these. You don't. You click through, you send the email, and then you go to the next, then you go to the phone, and then you go to the video, and you can leave a video message.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I plan to in the Viking Dude way.
Okay.
Very nice and cordial. Right,
your
dude?
messages are good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now on to HB 1227, dude. This is where you take over.
Yeah, and that bill is something that's getting heard tomorrow, and it's something that I'm kind of in disbelief is not a law, because I kind of feel like it should be a law for every single state. So what that does is that it makes it so that when you register to vote or you change your registration, it makes it requires that you say if you've been registered before. And if you do, you have to enter your old address, and that obligates the state to contact, if you're registered in a different state, to let your old state know that you moved, that you're a registered voter in Georgia now, and that they need to handle that accordingly, remove you from their voter rolls. And likewise, when the state, if you move to a different county or to a different municipality, it will give the county the information that your registration needs to change. And that's just a step towards helping the counties keep their voter registrations clean.
Now, are you sharing anything right now?
Right now, I'm not.
Okay.
So I'll actually stop my screen so that you don't see it down there.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you have
and
something to share during this part?
no, I don't. And that's all that bill is about. It's going to be heard tomorrow. So we'll see if it gets approved and voted on, but it's kind of a common sense one.
Well, it is. Sounds like it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to remove the excuses that they don't know when people have moved.
Oop. Trying to bring in a little music. We're not ready to wrap the show yet, but I'm trying to find a piece of music that would be cool. Let's try this. Maybe this. Sunset Cruise. So are we moving into segment 3 then? About
Sure.
AI? This is a teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So Tania Dude and I were watching a program by a local firebrand. It's named BKP. We were watching a segment. I don't know how I ran across it, but he pulled up this video. What?
I know how you ran across it because you always watch BKP. Were we not saying?
Okay. I don't always watch BKP. I'm not sure how I saw this one, but you have a better memory than I do. But anyway, we saw this video of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we just felt like it looked a little artificial.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I don't know. I've asked some people who know Marjorie, and I'm like, is that really? I mean, it's her voice. So here we go.
And I haven't endorsed any of them. But I can tell you something about whoever wins that seat. They're going to reveal secrets about the Trump administration that make everything I've said look tame by comparison. You want to know why I'm so confident? Because I know what's coming. I know what files are still classified. I know what conversations are still hidden. And I know that my replacement won't have the same reasons I had for keeping quiet about what I witnessed in Washington. Let me explain what I mean. When you're serving in Congress, especially as a member of the president's party, there are things you learn that you can't immediately share with the public, not because they're classified for national.
So I'm not playing this to listen to necessarily what she's saying. You guys can go and find the video and listen to this. Many of you probably have already heard this. But when you watch this closely, a lot of the mannerisms and expressions seem to be repeated, like there's a loop of this kind of thing going on. And you brought out that you thought her teeth didn't look like her teeth.
Yeah, she does not have pretty teeth. That's definitely not her smile, and that was the big not sorry.
Well,
I grew up with
a good freeze. Sorry, Marjorie. I mean, there's a better freeze.
Yeah, that's a bird.
I just don't know on this, and that's the thing. I mean, it's like so we had this question come up, and I just like, well, let me go in and let me throw this up here. We started asking Grok about this. My question was, how can we believe anything we see and hear is real anymore unless we actually go there and see it with our own eyes, or sit in front of the person talking directly to me and where I can hear them? I mean, how do we know anymore? I honestly don't know. It's scary to me. And so I don't know what we're teasing here, dude, but we're teasing that we're going to delve more into this topic in future episodes. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that we're going to talk about AI and deepfakes.
Yeah, AI and deepfakes. Well, Grok says you're raising a very legitimate and increasingly common concern in 2026 with deepfakes. It gives me some practical ways to evaluate it, but most of it involves, like being a full-time investigative, non-fake, or uncover the fakeness full-time person, and I don't have time to do that. I'm like everybody else. I mean, I need my stuff curated, and I need to be able to trust the curated stuff. But it goes on in the bigger picture, and so I asked more questions. I'm like, I'm considering that deep fakes are older than the recent retail release of AIs, such as yourself, Grok. How long has this ability to believably fake imagery and sound been available to the leaders of the tech industry and their partnerships with governments? Well, deep fakes, according to Grok, I mean, the deep fake stuff, like the really good stuff, is the early foundations are pre-2010. I drilled Grok even more and saying, look, man, you need to give me the truth here, because I've been watching movies and believing that, the stuff I'm seeing in the movies, the blockbuster movies, believing that looked so real, knowing that it's not real. But I'm like, if I did not know that was not real, I would think that was real. And that's been going on since the 90s, So anyway, it was an interesting conversation with Grok, and it's something that we're going to start trying to talk more about. How do we trust anything anymore? Right?
Yeah, because when BKP showed that video of Marjorie, he was talking about the dangers in her message. So he was really troubled by the message. And then, when we're watching, I was like, well, wait a minute. That's not Marjorie. That's AI. So it's the danger, so he's talking about the danger in the message that he thought that she was saying. But then what do we think about being delivered a message that's by a deep fake? That is so deceptively real that someone who's been, like BKP, that has been following and commenting on Marjorie, he thought that was real. So we can talk about all that, Viking Dude.
I wonder if I can open. Okay, I can't open that. Well, I guess I was going to maybe try to play Set Her Free as a way to close out today's show, but I can play it a different way if you just give me a second here and buy me some time. It's too big of a file to upload to probably him.
Yeah, so we have that for everybody next time, and or in the near future. And in the meantime, please follow us on our social media. I need your likes. I need your shares. Our Facebook page needs 100 followers so that we can live stream there and help our message get across so that we can, have a platform and try to show more people what's going on in Georgia's elections.
There we go. I was fishing around for that graphic. So there's our sites.
Yeah.
If you're watching right now, we don't have any comments, y'all. I mean, help us out. Throw us a comment. Let us interact with you a little bit. We display your comments up on the screen. Maybe that's why you're not commenting. You're like, I don't want my comment displayed on the screen. It's where you need an alias out there if you're watching this and you don't want your mug or your handle published, or just say it in the chat. Don't put this on the screen, and we won't do that. But yeah, if you're out there, send us just give it a try. Give us a live chat comment right now. Just say, "Hey, Viking Dude and Tania Dude." That would be cool. But that's where you can find us. And thanks for joining us.
Our social media is at Magistrock on X, Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook, and also Peaches and Bananas on X.
Cool. All right. Cool. Good show, dude.
Yeah. You too, dude.
Yep. Takes a little bit to prep these shows, so we put in some time trying to get everything lined up. Yeah. And I'm still bumbling around, even though we right?
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna toss the show out with a song here. I had it queued up, and we're gonna go out with this. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
Song that we wrote.
Song that we wrote. Song that we wrote for Tina Peters. Here we go. Hi, my name is Viking Dude in some platforms and Thai GT on other platforms. I wrote a song together with a woman from Puerto Rico named Tanya Sosa about Tina Peters, and it's for Tina Peters, and it begins with election night 2020 and brings us up to today. Thank you for listening. It was sunset in Colorado, mountain canyons losing their light. In a county known as Mesa, there's a woman shone so bright, she glowed of gold. Ooh, she glowed of gold. She cried out for truth against the schemes of that night, but they conspired to silence her. They locked her away in prison for 9 years for doing her job, looking out for the voters of Mesa. Because they want her fire to die. For a fire to die. In those corridors there's whispers, secrets under lock and key. But with her faith and her righteous courage, she wouldn't break, wouldn't bend that knee. And they called her a heretic, 'cause she's a threat to their reign. But she speaks out for our liberty. Isn't that amazing? She speaks out for our liberty while she sits in prison. And while her heart weeps in pain, ooh, while her heart weeps in pain, you got to get on board with saying her name every day, podcasters. All you freedom-loving podcasters and MAGA influencers. You got to say her name every day. Don't forget her. How about you, Donald Trump? Don't forget Tina Peters. She's right here, a hostage in your own backyard, bro. Mr. President, bro. 'Cause she's the lantern, revealed the hidden key. She opened up the black box, and it's no longer mystery. And now the plot of the desperate tyrants is unveiled for all to see. And though they cage her in the shadows, their lies won't go unseen. No, 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 no. The bell she strikes rings loud and beckons freedom's fame. And our fight for her goes on, so the world may know her name. So just set her free, set Tina free. I set her free now. In the cold white glare of her prison, as despair stares her down in her cell, you know her words so past Grand Junction, and they pull back Denver's wicked veil. The justice system is flawed, that judge twisted the law. He's hiding something so sinister. His time is done. Their day will come. You know why? 'Cause Tina. She's the lantern, revealed the hidden key. She opened up the black box, and it's no longer mystery. And now the plot of the desperate tyrants is unveiled for all to see. And though they cage her in the shadows, their lies won't go unseen. No, 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 no. And the bell she strikes rings loud and beckons freedom's fame. And
our fight for her goes on, so the world may know her name. So just set her free, set Tina free. Oh, set her free now. Yeah, sing for her and her fearless fight. For those who speak with the light. For the lady shone like the sun when the world turned to night. And Tina's name has just begun now. She should be free right now. Sing for her and her fearless fight. For those who speak with light. For the lady shone just like the sun when the world turned to night. Tina's story has just begun now. She should be free right now. Tina's story's just begun. It's only gonna get bigger. And she's gonna be a spark to the movement for freedom. A true hero. Set Tina Peters free now.